So first and foremost, really want to thank you for joining in today. Today we have a very, very interesting session planned for all of you. The topic of today's session is content marketing, the key to success for SEO in 2015. In today's session, we'll actually be covering details about content marketing, including the changing face of search, the new consumer decision journey, how content marketing can help you scale your SEO efforts, steps to SEO success in 2015, and do-it-yourself tips to help you succeed in SEO. To lead this session, we have with us Navneet Kaushal. He's a CEO of PageTraffic. Navneet is actually leading a third webinar with us in last one and a half year. So really want to thank you, Navneet, for taking time out. I just wanted to
You're welcome.
Great. Just wanted to share with you. We did the first session with Navneet, which was around how social media space is impacting the SEO world. And after the session, we took the recording, converted into an online course, and hosted it on Udemy. I just checked an hour back. There are close to 7,000 users who have taken that course so far. So I'm sure that's a good case study for the content marketing initiative for sure. So I'm sure today's webinar is going to have the similar success story as well. By the way, just to share a little background, PageTraffic, the company which Navneet co-founded, it's one of the leading SEO company in India. And some time back, it was in fact features into Red Herring Asia Top 100 list as well. And Navneet conduct various corporate workshops, and he's in fact one of the most sought after speakers. He's been speaking in conferences including TFMA, AdTech, Click Asia Summit, SEA, SMX, and other industry events in US, Europe, and Asia. I'm really delighted and excited, Navneet, for today's session, and I'm sure all of us are going to learn a lot today. Just to set the logistics before I hand over the session to Navneet, right now there are 74 people who are attending this session, and I'm sure soon more will join in. So by default, we have muted everybody. In case you have any question, you can just type it down in the question panel, and we'll have a presentation initially, and then in the remaining part of the session, which would be like close to 20-25 minutes, we'll have an open Q&A. So that's how the session is planned. Thanks a lot. Navneet, you can start the session now.
Yeah. Thank you, Kapil, for that brief introduction. Welcome, everyone. First of all, belated Happy New Year to everyone. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the SEO and how the content marketing, which we feel is the face of the SEO in 2015, in fact, way beyond that as well. So just to brief, I'll just take you through a brief what actually search is and where exactly we are going before setting it up for how we can do it better with the content marketing. Just to give you a number, search often brings the highest number of highest qualified traffics. I mean, even despite being the social networks, we all using social networks for more than a couple of hours every day, search still brings the highly qualified traffic. It's still the number one converging factors across all the channels. Organic is, of course, still the cheapest medium to convert customers or to convert prospects into buyers. Just to give you an idea, this is the data which we have in 2013. We expect there are almost 6 billion queries per day which happens on Google now in 2013, which we are expecting move to around 9 billion per day. So that's an amount of search queries which are happening every day. I'm going to share some more interesting facts to share with you all. Just in a state of search in India, there are, of course, Google leads in India with 97% of the share, Yahoo and Bing just being the 1% and the others 1%. So a large market share is owned by Google, specifically in search in India. And let's see what all has changed in the search till now. So Google in the last couple of years, I'm just going to be specific about, I'm just going to be talking about last couple of years, what all has changed. Google have now started providing more information when you type. So with their knowledge graph, with their cost Q&A, so these are just some of the screens where Google provides more and more information. Google has now become more transparent, so even if you put iPad accessory or anything, it will give you the URLs, it will give you the reseller reviews. So the transparency is going up in Google when it comes to search. Google, of course, become more visual. If you search for ads, it will now start showing pictures across the knowledge graph. Knowledge graph is something which is on the right hand side of your Google search page, so you can see somewhere the knowledge graph also triggers. The Bing also, taking a cue from Google, has become more visual. That's something which Bing also has gone. And of course, one thing interesting is search queries. As we say, look at the search query. This is just a screenshot of for just how our search query, how we are being more, our search behavior is changing more. So for example, previously we were searching for oil change instructions. Now being very specific. I'm asking Google, how do I change my oil? So these are some of the things which are happening in Google. Then of course there is a Google Now. Google search query is becoming more and more descriptive. We are speaking more to Google. It is available on Android as well as on iPhone. And search queries are getting more time sensitive. We are typing not just like best vendors or a best mobile phone. We are probably typing best mobile phones 2015. So these are becoming more and more time sensitive. Search queries are becoming more crowd conscious. So you are just looking for best stuff. You are looking for best cars, best shoes, best headphones. So a lot of things you are looking in terms of are based on the crowd conscious. So you are looking for a specific percent of the search queries are new. So the more than 15% of the queries which we see are actually actually new. So what actually that means is that even if I'm optimizing something right now, I could actually see that most of the searches, the queries are not something which probably will be searched more the next year. So the good part is you don't need to just focus on the keywords anymore. You need to focus on the content. That's what the content marketing is all about. And that's what it says. The search queries are getting new. Just to take you more on that, these are some of the Google changes which has happened recently. So Hummingbird, which was about the content, was about the descriptive, which was about the predictive search. So you ask question and Google will give you replies. We had Google Panda update, which was more focused towards the content and duplicacy and thin content. So that's something which we have. And then we had Google Penguin, which we had more than 6 updates, and one of the serious update was Google Penguin. Then we had an exact match update. Then we had a page layout update, which happened. There has been 2 updates, 7 results, links, warning, knowledge graph, which I talked about. And besides it, there are almost 390 monthly updates, which continuously happens in Google. So of course, there is a lot of things which are changing. But what exactly in terms of, this is in terms of the Google algorithm. Now let's look what in terms of we as an audience or a user is changing. So for example, if I just look at the audience habits, so these are changing. Previously we had navigational queries, we had information queries are now which we used to be. Now if you see, most of us people are actually having more informational query from search rather than anything else. So more than 80% of all queries right now are informational queries. So that's something which is to be looked into. Just to take you through the kind of, in the couple of years back, there was a study done by Google, which was zero moment of truth. So just to take you through the old consumer decision journey, which was based on the IDA, which says awareness, you get a customer's awareness, you aware of consumer, you generate interest in them, you have a desire, and you then have a required action from them. That's the 1898 study, which we all studied in B school as well. This is the old how consumer used to make a decision. Now this has changed. The new decision journey, this is how it is. We as a user, and this is from Zmod, we as a user are looking at we are looking online, we are searching online, we are looking at print media, we are looking at brick and mortar stores, we are looking at TVs. So a lot of places where we are looking at, and we are before even we buy. Just to take you through, Zmod Google tells is actually a term which means zero moment of truth. So what exactly zero moment of truth means? Even before I decide to buy, I have done my due diligence. So I would have gone on I would have gone on internet, I would have studied reviews, I would have gone on print, I've talked to social, to my friends, I've looked at the face-to-face, probably I've looked about the reviews of the website, I've looked at the magazines issues, or whichever way. The point is, even before I buy, you and me as a consumer are doing search and on internet and offline before we decide. So this becomes important, that it's not about that the person or the visitor is just going to land on your website and is going to buy something. It's going to be more and more specific when people are going to come and buy something they already have researched. So for example, if you and me are going to look for a mobile phone, gone are the days when I'm going to walk to a mobile phone shop and I'm going to ask, do you have any mobile phone you can show me? We now go to a shop looking very specifically what phone we want and what exactly model we are looking at. We don't go there just to browse through phones. We probably would have a list of 2-3 phones we want to touch and feel. That's zero moment of truth. This is where the search is happening. This is where the people are searching. They are not even coming to our website. They are not even coming to a mobile website. They are just going there finally to buy the product. We are reading, all of us read more reviews on Flipkart before we buy a product. So these are the things which are mattering in today's world, and that's what zero moment of truth calls about. And of course, zero moment of truth says search is the most persuasive form of conversions, because more of us believe something which is not actually sent to us, or it is actually shown to our face, where we look at something of a service. We actually like to search ourselves and discover things. We do a little bit of research, and normally as a human being, you trust yourself more than anyone else, and that's where the search comes more pervasive. So we are looking at search something like this, just to look at the picture level of engagement. Of course, search is a push channel that makes the push media hard. That's the number one important thing about search. And of course, this search inspires me, they connect. So people find, they inspire, and then they connect. That's exactly how search is working. Now, keeping this in mind, we're going to talk about a little bit about how content marketing is going to be something which is going to be important for us to look into. So just to look into it, content marketing, and what exactly is content marketing, I'm just going to share this with you. Now, content marketing describes the creation and distribution, marketing of high quality content with the aim to reach a defined audience, to interact with it, position oneself as an expert within this target group in order to generate sustainable and long-term customer contact and sales. So basically about creating and distributing high quality content for increasing your sales or revenue. That's where is content marketing. Now, if you just see content marketing in SEO, content marketing in SEO almost describes similar way. It's creation of high quality content based on the demand, which helps marketers achieve their goal. In fact, getting high quality of backlinks. That backlink is a residual. We're not going to talk about it as a primary thing. I'm going to talk more about and share some more examples after that. So helping us get good position for the relevant keyword. That's content marketing for SEO in a nutshell. Now, just to give you a content marketing fact, marketers on an average spends over a quarter of their marketing budget on content marketing. Of course, this is a custom content council says 60% of the customers feel they are more likely to buy if they are finding a good custom content from the company they're looking to buy. Of course, content marketing is the toughest part, because 69% people say they can't just produce enough content. That's something we're going to share about, and that's one of the top 3 content marketing challenges, where they can't produce content which is engaging. And content marketing in SEO, blog gives websites 434% more index page and 97% more index links. And of course, if you incorporate a blog which has video, it attracts 3 times as many as more inbound links than as a normal blog. We have seen this for our example. We do a blog on our website. We do get, blog section is our 3rd most popular section of our website. We do get a lot of visitors, and does help us convert good for that as well. Just to share the benefits, this is the old school SEO, where you could say create content for a specific keyword, build backlinks, and you get better rankings. That's the old method, which has now lost this efficiency. The new method, which is about creating topic, landscape, or value, ensuring a high coverage of relevant keywords, ensure a high number of index page, of course, enable organic and high quality link building, which helps us achieve long-term rankings on your site as well as on third-party sites. So that's the benefit of content marketing, where you are just creating content and the links are residual about that. Just to give you a landscape and idea how content marketing is, over an interest of time, this is just to compare The red one is the link building. If you see, this is from the result is from Google. So you could actually also see yourself. The content marketing and link building, if you see the difference, the people, as a marketer, the hope or the chances of the searches, in fact, as a marketer, if you see less and less people are looking at link building, actually the searches are going down. The content marketing it's going up. So this is something, the shift is happening. More and more people are looking at content marketing and less people are looking at link building, which becomes important, shows again the importance of the work here. Of course, shift in balance is happening. We are looking at the technical SEO aspect now as well as the content. So that's something which is happening now. In 2008, the SEO was in fact more than, in fact, up to 2012, this is what the SEO was: on-page basics and link building. So this is how we were doing. You just fix your on-page, do link building, create some crappy links, and you would get rankings. But right after Google Penguin update, this is what have changed. Now you have content marketing, which is the center of the SEO. You have video, you have on-page, you have content strategy, you have mobile, you have UI, you have site speed, very, very important. This is something which SEO looks after. And of course, the biggest piece out all of this is going to be content marketing. Now let's look about how the SEO planning is done when we have to look from a content marketing point of view, and if I have to optimize a website. SEO planning, let's say, rank cannot, this is the planning. Step one is rank cannot be bought, must be earned. SEO is not an item to be left at the end. So we need to plan first. Without planning, you will never get where you want to be. So planning is very, very important for the SEO. So if you have to plan how you want to do the SEO, the first and foremost thing is the components which are to be there has to be looked into. A strong SEO strategy in 2015 looks after links, content, and social media. So this has always been, but what is getting more and more important is that there is a relationship between them. It's getting more and more important. So you have a good content, you need to share it on social media, which actually helps to be shared on other platforms, builds links, which get you more links, in fact gets you more traffic. That's something you have to do, of course. So the content will get you good links, the links will get you more attention, more visitors. And and of course, mobile compatibility is no longer an option. It's must. So you, whatever content or whatever links or whatever content we built on our website, the website has to be mobile friendly. We believe 2015 is going to be very important year for all of this. The 3 steps to the SEO success. Of course, you need to deep research. You just can't, it's no longer just deciding about 10 keywords that I want to optimize these keywords and I want to rank for higher for them. It's about understanding your market, and it's about creating valuable content and becoming a trusted advisor. For our last 4 years, we have spent we have invested a lot of time and money and effort in doing exactly what I'm talking here. So we have done deeply understanding of our market. We have ourselves created valuable content for us as well as for our clients. And we actually have become a trusted advisor where our articles are posted on various platforms, and which actually has helped us get rankings. And none of this was done keeping SEO in mind. These were just a residual which we got. So that's what you don't do really SEO anymore. It's simply a result of doing other things the right way. So for example, building links, getting quality content out there, not exactly thinking in mind the SEO or the keywords, getting good links in terms of just the co-citations or a company, getting good mentions in different blogs. These white papers, infographics, those all things have helped us get good rankings right now for us, and now same things we are doing for our clients as well. So what are the fundamentals? The fundamentals for this would be solid, strong brand. You need to not think SEO just for a website. You need to think SEO is something where it creates a lot of positive signals for your brand. And you have to understand that you are just doing SEO not for the keyword sake, you are helping build traffic. So in our experience, we have seen when you do SEO in a certain good this way, not only your organic traffic increases, it's your total traffic of the website, it's your referral traffic, it's your brand traffic, which also goes up. So of course, and it all has to be substituted with a great copy, which has to add value, and it has to be a well-designed site, which, as I mentioned before, has to be a very fast site. It needs to provide useful information. It has to be mobile responsive. So these are some of the things which are very, very important for the digital, to have your SEO and everything to be done. Of course, content is king. You have different forms of content. You have own content. You can have earned content where you earn links when people share your content. You can even have a paid content. I'm not talking exactly about paid links, but I'm talking about paid content in terms of press releases and other various ways of promoting your white papers or other of your guides on other websites. You need to increase your own and earned media, of course, create, distribute, share, and interact. Just to see how the landscape of this page looks, this is how the on-page content looks. You have your URL, you have content, you have keyword optimizer, you have bulleted. This is how people are, so you have video, you have transcripts. This is how a typical landing page should look about, which should be engaging. So if you see, you have top of the content, really a good copy. So it's more about copy. And it's not about, so even if you see even if we are trying to optimize for a keyword engagement ranks, you would see we are not mentioning it everywhere engagement ranks, but it's about user. So we're talking about benefits, we are talking about these points, we are talking about a video, maybe a review down the bottom of the page. These are the things which are going to help us get more and more eyeballs and less bounce rate. So just to look at the consumer journey again, organic search. So you rank, this is how you can see search engine qualifies the content to rank. Of course, when you get click through and sticky content is important, people should be remaining for at least 15 seconds on your website. The content has to be engaging, and of course it has to convert as well. Just really understanding the customer journey, this is how the awareness, content, intent, due diligence, and that's what we're doing this season. So that's how the IDA has changed, and this is the new customer journey which has gone into the customer shopping journey, which has gone into different stages, which has changed a bit. So this is where due diligence, most of the time we do a due diligence when we are looking for a high value product. So you're not looking for a due diligence when probably you are looking for a mobile phone, but it's something when you're looking for a car or a house, you would do a due diligence. You will actually read that is there any negative reviews outside, is there something. So that's how a typical customer journey is. Just to take you more into it, the awareness, of course, awareness comes with generally the shorter keyword phrases. So you are looking awareness about a product. So you type for, let's say, a CDMA mobile phone or a GSM mobile phone, you're looking for a smartphone. That's how the awareness you are trying to get out of this. Of course, then you go to typically core business terms or a category terms, which has, of course, let's say you might look for a best phone under rupees 10,000, that's the high search volume. Then you would look, so this is how you go. So if you look for handbags, sweater, dresses, these are something where the awareness comes. Taking to the next consideration. The consideration section have generally 2-3 cards. So one identifier plus the root. For example, you would have brand plus category, Samsung mobile. They would, again, if I compare to the previous one, the number of searches and the volume are going to be less. But if you see, the conversions is going to be a better because people are looking for a specific identifier. So I'm looking for women's sweater or a plus size dresses or a Domino's coupon. So these are all the keywords we are putting it. This is, so you have to see where you want to capture your audience or where you want to capture the person who is looking specifically. So here this, and but also have to understand that unlike awareness stage where the volume is high, the conversion rate is always going to be lower. The consideration stage is where the volume is lower, but however now it would have give you better conversions. Just let's look at the intent section. These are generally 3-4 keywords, 2 identifier plus roots, even lower search, and it has better conversion rate. So you are looking for Samsung Mobile Delhi, you are looking for Samsung Galaxy S5, you are looking for Samsung S4, you are looking for best brands, for example, best Samsung mobile. They would definitely have lesser search volume, however, they would have a better conversion rate. So this becomes important to understand. Just to go into due diligence, the due diligence would be for a high ticket items where you're looking for the product like Samsung Galaxy reviews, warranties. So these are less common for a retail shopping but more relevant when you are looking for a research work. So you are doing due diligence for something you are trying to sell online or you are trying to buy online, and that's something where the due diligence comes. And of course at the end of the decision you are looking for a very specific model and a very specific product. However, generally this has very fewer keywords in this stage, but many customer converts via direct load. So if I'm looking for a size 38 Levi's jeans for a very specific model, or if I'm looking for a Sony Cybershot DSC WX50 digital camera, that's where I'm going to do it. So this is where it becomes something which is interesting. You could actually look at the product and the decision making, but again, as I said before, there would be fewer keywords in this stage, but yes, you could look into optimizing your site for this type of keywords or this type of audience as well. Just let's look at the perfectly optimized page. So this is perfectly created by Moz at Rand Fishkin. So if you see the perfectly optimized page will have a title, it will have a meta description. If you see it will be built to share, it will have a bot accessible. So this is kind of a, which will be of course multi-device ready, and of course it would have a very good UI and very good user interface. So, and of course schemas are getting very, very important. You see, this is a perfect landing page, which if you keep in mind what we have shared previously, what I shared, this is how an optimized page should look like. Now let's move from on page to off page. What exactly is? So most of us, for say the link building, which I said, of course, which I mentioned is going down, as we saw in the Google search, that the searches are getting lesser for link building. However, link building is not that. What actually has changed the way we build linking. So first of all, we have to think from the way that yes, links are important. That's how Google is built. So, but we have to forget keyword as anchor text. You no longer can build for links for Samsung mobile or a money keyword. So first of all, forget link builds. It's a time for link earning and the content. So you have to build links from the that attract links. It's very important for us to understand that build links with your content to it. So you can't just have links, and you just can't have link without a content. So if you are building your links without a content, that's a recipe for disaster. You will get penalized for that. Now the interesting questions comes how we can do it. So if you have to build links, you have to build links through content, and let's see how we can do this content marketing as such. Now there are pillars, 5 pillars of content marketing, which I'm going to share. They are planning, research, production, marketing, and analysis. These are, let's see, we're going to take it step by step and how exactly we can do. I'm also going to share some of the examples here with you, so you understand that some of those can be directly implemented. Some of those tools will also be shared here by me. So first and foremost, very important thing is plan first. You just can't wake up in the morning and say, oh, let's do content marketing. You have to plan. How can we plan? So first important thing is you need to have an engaging content. What do you want to do? Do you want to create a content for social? Do you want to do a PR? Do you want to do a real content? How do you want to do it? So that's how you have to decide first of all what kind of a content you want to do. Secondly, you have to pick a content type. These are various content types. Some, I'm sure one or the other will be relevant to. For example, right now we are doing a webinar, that's creating content. We do a blog post of this, that's another creating content. If I put everything out of this, the points, that's I can create an infographic. Audio and video content, this is being recorded right now, so it becomes a YouTube video as well. You could download this webinar, that's another way of creating content. Of course, you could have a white paper about how to do content marketing. I'll share some of those also with you, which we have done. So this is another way to do it. So you have to pick a content which you feel more comfortable with. Once you have picked the content, just to give you an example, the content which you pick has to have a based on the step of the campaign. For example, if you are looking for a content trigger or you are looking for a teaser, you could need a blog post or an infographic or a slide share. So these will be to get links and visibility. So I'm just looking content for marketing, not only for links. I would look for newsletter. I will look for tweets, which you do. You can't expect Facebook posts to count as the links. Of course, they will count in your backlinks as not in backlinks, but as the traffic. They will get you more traffic and reference. You could look at guest articles. You could look at press releases. So that's content for marketing. Then you have content for call to action. For example, this white paper, webinars, software download, checklist. That is where the traffic. So these are the different stages which you can pick to get different type of goals and different type of steps in the campaign. So based on what exactly you want, these are some of the ones. Once you have shortlisted or once you have decided what exactly you want to do with this, let's say we want to create a blog post or a landing page, assumingly, let's say we want to create a slide share or a video, let's see what exactly next. After you have planned, the next step comes to research. So first and foremost thing to research is you have to research the topics. So how do you want to research? You want the topic to be interesting, problem solving, enlightening, explanatory. You have to decide this beforehand, and of course you want to, what is your target audience? Is it a customer support, post-sale support? Is it a sales? Is it an industrial forum, blog? Do you are actually looking to promote an event, or do you have any statistics, or do you want to promote it, the customer service? So these are the feedbacks which you get, you could share. And of course there are tools to do. You could have meetings, conversions, analytics, SurveyMonkey. This is how we are collecting data. Now again, let's see the step how we can do. Once you have decided what kind of content you want to produce, the researching keywords. So there are different, you have ideas which you have keyword ideas like keyword planner, you can use Google AdWords account, you can use Google Suggest, you can use SEO tools. And then you have the potential where you have the keyword traffic. So you could see what kind of a keywords are bringing what type of the traffic, and of course based on that you need to decide what kind, of course you need to track those keywords as far as the traffic and rankings are concerned. Once we have done this in the research the keywords, you have shortlisted your topic, you have researched the keywords. Now the point is, what exactly should I write? I have the keyword, I know what is my audience, what I'm going to write. Of course, if I just decide about a product, I have to see how and what are we going to write about. So, of course, you have to build content with high search link intent. So keyword like fact, keyword like information, keyword like data. We have to understand we are building here links to get more. We are building here content to get more and more links. So if you have content, let's say in this previous step we have selected keywords. Now if we just add facts or data, that's what people are more and more people are searching for. That's where their people are looking. So this is people are looking at reviews, people are looking for information, data. So my content should be built around this. This is just an sample if you could apply in your case as well. And now to look at the what kind of so there are three, of course the other way is to look for an expert opinion roundups. You could look for a top 10 or 100 facts about things, just as I said. Even if you have old content, you can use a new life, repurpose your content. For example, if I written how to do an on-page SEO, there are things which have changed, so I could just repurpose the content, rewrite it. You can even in fact search online and see if there is any other content which was shared previously. You can even rewrite those. And of course, learn the art of storytelling, which is important. You could learn it from a client. So whatever you write, it has to be written in terms of a storytelling. So you can't just have content just thinking that it's a white paper or it's something. It has to be a storytelling, because that's where the visitors or audience is going to be more and more interesting. You can also add the influencers. So I'm just going to take something which is when you write about something about the topics where you want to have engaged the influencers. So first of all, the influencer are the people who are, let's say for us SEO, I am an influencer and you want to engage me. This is kind of, you don't know me, let's say, or you don't know, let's say you are looking for 10 influencers and you're writing about an article about SEO in 2015. How are you going to find those influencers? There are a couple of tricks, of course. You see, you could go to a website called circlecount.com. You could just type your topic and just see. So this is going to tell you country, gender wise, and you can actually see what type of people are writing most of this content. So this is something you can do if you are looking for the influencers to engage and maybe write an article which shares these things from these influencers. You could also have, there is another website, Topsy, where you could search for influencers. You can find content here. And you can look for the topics and from Twitter as well, or which are shared by Topsy. There is another very interesting tool you could research, which we use a lot, which is called as BuzzSumo. BuzzSumo.com. You can just type keywords. It's gonna give you information about even if I'm typing. So even the moment I type content, I know Joey is there, Robert Rose is there, Michael is there. These are all influencers which you can see for these types. And again, the BuzzSumo, one thing more about BuzzSumo is if you see the which you want to build, which which we have discovered after researching in the previous step. If you go to BuzzSumo, you type top content, you can actually see what kind of a content is getting what type of a research, what type of share. So the page which is getting high terms shares on Twitter and Facebook is the content which you would like to write, is the content which people are interested in. So BuzzSumo is another way to do it. Once you have done, you have identified your influencers, you can ask questions to the influencers for your roundup post, tips, tricks, predictions. For example, what mistakes to avoid in SEO, what tools they use. You can curate that content. Just to take you the BuzzSumo screenshot, this is where you see if you type a particular keyword, you can actually see the number of shares, you can actually see the social signals. Higher the social signals, the more that content people are looking for. So that's something you can build your content around. And if you have built something, the content like this, next step is to curate that content. There are, of course, content curation tools I will share, which you could just not rewrite, because if people have the phobia that how would I produce this much content, you can just use content curation tool where you could use these tools to curate the content which all other people have already done, and that's where you could choose. You could have many free tools available. These are some of the tools through which you can create a content. This is Feedly, Scoop It, Listly, Storyfy. These are some of the content where these are some of the websites where you can go and create for curation. And also have to just a small point to add here, when you are creating content, it's important to have a very strict. Often we have seen that people actually look at the title. Of course, we are searching, we look at the title and the description. The title is the single important factor, even if you are ranking, to get higher click-through. This is another tool. You can go to website Portent, and this is another tool you can look at, Portent and Content Idea Generator. You could just type a keyword and it will give you an idea about the headlines. So now let's assume we have researched, just to briefly, we have researched everything and now we have gone ahead and we have the content ready. How do you produce the content? There is another way you can produce the content. Which content should we produce? Of course, you can produce, these are different content which I shared previously as well. You could recycle some of these, you could create videos, slide share, webinars. This is something you have to decide. You have the keywords, you know, you have the topic, you need to know what type of, you need to decide what type of content you want to produce. In our case, we produce almost, in fact, all of these. Once you have decided the content, you then need to decide the type of format. So the blogs, videos, white paper, webinars, ebooks, infographics, these are the type of formats which you can have. The following content types, for example, just for SEO and link building. So these are something which we have seen helps you get more and more links. For example, interviews, we said building the multipliers right along. You could do an influencer, which I showed how we can search. You can do a how-to tutorials to generate backlinks. Tutorials are very good ways to get more and more backlinks. You can have infographics, which of course can share, creates links, and of course guest articles, which do contains your author bio. These are some of the ways which you can do. Just a sample which we have done for some of the, which we have done for ourselves, done and some for some of our clients. This is one of the must-have content marketing tools. These are some of the infographics which have generated a lot of shares for us. And I'm just sharing some examples which we have done for our clients and some of these for us. We have content marketing guide. We have created these free white papers which are available right now on our website. So these are the kind of content which we have produced. Now once you have produced the content, the next stage is how to market that content. Let's see how we can market the content and how we can get more and more links. The content marketing part is actually something which you can move. Of course, as we remember, if we discussed before, the social, PR, and of course the real content. You could have you could share it on your social channels. You could share it on your different PR channels, and some of these implementing, all of you should have at least these channels of your own. So we have Facebook of our website. We have Facebook for PageTraffic. We have Twitter, G+, SlideShare, YouTube, Pinterest. That's where we do the initial content. Whatever we create, we initially seed them there, and that's where the people pick it up, and that's where it starts. This is something you can do on your own website. So first step to promote and market is whatever content you produce or posted, share it on your own channels. That's the step number one. Step number two would be research of potential seeding. Let's say if I have an infographic, you could go to Google and type, let's say I have an infographic for online marketing, you could do entitle infographic, you could choose top list, you could choose tutorials where you can actually share your tutorials as well. So that's the link sources. These are two very important steps which can get you a lot of links. Now let's go to the next step, where would be earned media. So this is just an example. If you are doing most of this is some of the media examples. For example, last time in June, I did this presentation, on conference on next generation and SEO. It got 20,000 views. This beginner guide to building links through content marketing got 790 shares. This is the earned media. We haven't paid out any of this. This is another of my article which got published on PC Quest. So this is the kind of earned media you can have once you are trying to write a good content. It's very, very important to understand only a good content is going to be getting you better on links or on shares. Of course, you can't do earned. You have another way to do it, paid media. You can have sponsored tweets. You could do Reddit ads. We have seen highly successful. Of course, Facebook ads we do run some of some weekly stories on PageTraffic Facebook page as they're targeted on Facebook, and we do run them as a sponsored stories. We do pay sometimes to stumble upon, which helps. Google AdWords is there. And as I said, you have your media, you have your blog to share. You can share it with your customers. When you put a good content in email, you could put it on your social media websites. So that's something. One thing very important to understand in this is check your anchor text distribution. Don't keep it brand focused and natural. And important, The kind of anchor text distribution you show for Nike is the kind of anchor text distribution you will even see for PageTraffic. That's where, if you see 67% of their links are brand Nike. So that's something you need to be sure about. You don't just create keeping keyword in mind. The anchor text has to be natural. They have to be more of your domain. They have to be more of natural links in terms of your brand name, in terms of your website, .com. These are the things which should be keeping in mind while building any sort of content. Now, once we have done this, it's important, whatever you build, whatever you produce, whatever you promote, it's important to understand that it is being, you are measuring it. The best part about digital compared to the offline media marketing is you can measure it. You can't measure how many people saw your ad in the newspaper, you can read your article. So it's very, very important to measure your results. How you can measure your results is important. Of course, these are some of the metrics which defines, for example, for me, it's downloads which are important, or a page views. You have to define your metrics, and you have to actually continue monitoring it. So if I'm looking for there are different sort of metrics. You have content consumption, you have content sharing. Then there is a lead generation, sales metric. So you see which part of this matrix is important for you. So for some of you, might be the video views are important, so that becomes content consumption. For some of you, it becomes important how many links is being generated, or how many likes, or how many people it's being forwarded to. That becomes content sharing metrics. Then we have the lead generation metrics, which shows you how many people have filled out the contact form, how many people are actually converting, how many email subscribers I have got. Then we have the sales metrics, which of course tells you how many online sales I have got, how many offline sales I have got, and manual reporting, of course, can be done through this. So this is where the entire thing revolves. So eventually we all want sales. So this is how you can track the various forms, which kind of a content you are doing, and what type of a content you should be sharing. And let's look, just before we wind up, it's important to understand who owns the marketing content. This is how the search, or how the whole digital marketing used to work. You have everything being worked upon. Everything is working in silos. So now gone are the case when you can just, so email was working separately, SEO was different, social media was different, offline was not engaging or talking to online. The world has changed now. So what actually has changed? Let's see. So you have a more cohesive organization of a department. You have marketing, which is part of all of this. So SEO is a part of a marketing. You have a direct, you have a PR, you have editorial, and you have social media. So all of this becomes part of a marketing, and this is how the organization has to gel together. You just can't have a department living in silos where most of these things are not gelling. And if most of this, we even have a free content marketing guide. You could, this guide tells you most of what you can do. You can download it free from the URL which I have given, pt.gy. That's a bit.ly URL, cm-pdf guide. You can download this guide from here, and which will give you more information. This is again a white paper which we have done. And that's all to have now for the content, and I hope it was helpful to you, and now I am open for the questions.
Thanks a lot, Navneet. It was definitely a very, very interesting session.
Kapil?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Great. So it was definitely a very interesting session. We have currently 6 questions which are yet not answered. So I'll just take those questions now. Guys, you're free to please post your questions now. So I'll start with, there are some, 101 level question. And I think let's just get them addressed. There are a lot of people who are very new to SEO, and they're part of this group. So they wanted to know, there are questions which include what are schema, and what exactly link building is, and what does index page really mean. This is a question from Sapna, Shrital, and Shubhangi. So it would be great if you can answer them first.
Sure. Schema is something I would recommend you to go to a website called schema.org. Schema is kind of a rich snippet. So if you go and Google and search something, you might come across where Google shows the reviews, or Google shows 20 reviews, or might show a small stars. Those are the schemas. You have different sort of schemas. The schemas were launched a couple of years back just to make the results more meaningful. So some of the very popular schemas are, of course, reviews. Then you have local listings schemas. You have event schemas. So for example, if you are looking for the movie timings, the schema is going to show you result right there on the on the Google result. That's the schemas. You can implement them very, very easily on your website. If you do Google schemas, Google in fact has their schema tool. If you go to Page Traffic Buzz, today itself Google has updated their schema tool, which actually has a good tutorial and what all sort of schemas you can incorporate in your page to make it more rich, which in terms of more rich when it shows up in Google, that's very important. So schemas are very important for any of us to implement on our website, which I said there are almost 35 different sort of schemas based on your website and based on the kind of content you are doing. You can actually use most of these. The index pages basically means number of pages which are listed in Google for your website. So a small example, you can type in Google search box something like site : that's site : and your website, let's say site : pagetraffic.com. So it's gonna give me a list of pages which Google has crawled and which are indexed in Google. If one of my pages is not indexed in Google, then it's not gonna rank. So it's important that most of my pages, or in fact all of my pages, are indexed in Google and ranked. So for us, it's important to have all the pages, and the pages which are important and which are not having thin content, or pages which you feel are valuable to the user, those all pages should be crawled, and once they are crawled, they definitely comes up in the index. And what was the third question, Kapil, about link building?
Right.
What exactly was the question?
What link building exactly is? Shubhangi, she wants to know that.
Yeah, Shubhangi, link building exactly is when you link building. See, when Google was founded way back in 99, then that's where Google took the results from Alta Vista and built their own search engine. The whole thing was built when people think that the link building for Google means people voting to your website as a trust for a specific meaning or a specific service. So when, let's say, if you have a website which talks about selling online gifts, or let's say you sell online flowers, and when I write a blog and I say, okay, you can buy flowers from Shubhangi website, and I link to your website, that's where the link is. So more and more links to your, that's how the Google was built. The more and more link comes to your website, the higher rankings are. Now the signals and the quality of this definition, the signals, or let's say the how tough the Google has become in last few years when it comes, this link building has changed. For example, previously you could get links from any website and you would rank. Now it means the link has to be from the website which are theme based, your theme. Then it goes again and link has to be from the website, from the content. So the link building is important factor. In fact, last year Google did an interesting experiment where internally they switched off all the links coming to the website, and then they see how the Google search becomes. How does the Google search shows? And Matt Cutts actually posted a video and shows it's one of the very, very horrible results. So it clearly shows link building is important for us. It's number of links you are getting, number of votes. Link building is kind of getting positive votes to your website, which helps you get your site ranking better. Kapil?
Great. So the next question is, now let's take a little deeper level questions. Aparna, she wants to know what is the ideal bounce rate? What kind of a content should we put to decrease the bounce rate on the website?
See, again, depending on the website, for example, just Google ideal bounce rate should be 100%. If people are able to find more and more results on the first page, that something should be, for them it's as good as 100%. But if you are a website which is a service website or product selling, the ideal bounce rate should stay below 50. It should be somewhere around 30-35%. And how you can reduce your bounce rate? Of course, by producing engaging content. Foremost important thing is when a page load, give user the information which they are looking for. Most of the cases, most of the time you'll see website having huge graphic on the first fold, so when a page load on a website, that's the first fold. You don't even have to scroll on the monitor. When you see that, that's the first scroll where you should give content, relevant content, and the content has to be engaging enough. The content should not just, let's say if you have a service, it should not just end with without any action or without any call to action button. So you would have a call to action button, inquire now, request a code, some of these things. So you should have more informative content linked internally through the page. So the content has to be a little longer in terms if you are trying to reduce the bounce rate. nicely placed out data. I showed a graphic how you can have an optimized page talking about FAQ and things which people want to read about. That's how you can reduce the bounce rate. Kapil.
Great. Guys, actually there are a lot of questions pouring in now, and there are 89 people in the panel in the session right now, so I'm not really sure whether I'll be able to take up all the sessions in the remaining minutes or not, but I'll try to take as many as possible. Simultaneously, I'm just launching a quick poll. You can take it more like a commercial break. You know, as Digital Vidya, we do courses in digital marketing space. So we have one course on 6 months course on digital marketing space, which include 1 month on SEO as well. So if you want to take up this course, you can just mention yes over here, and then I'll ask someone from the sales team to call you. So simultaneously, I'm taking up another question. There's an interesting question from Anushri. She wants to know, you added blog post and guest articles in the content marketing plan. Are they still valid? What I know is that the guest post and article submissions are no more valid.
See, I specifically didn't blog post. When I mentioned blog post, these are blog on your own website. Of course, blogging is, I said, the data which I shared initially, the blogs on your websites has to be engaging and they get you good visitors. So I'm not talking about doing a submission on the article websites alone, but I'm talking about putting a blog on your own website. When it comes to the guest post, if you think you are just building guest post from a point of view where just looking to build it from a SEO point, that's not something which is a healthy way to think about it. The guest posts are more specifically talking on your industry forum, talking about preparing in content or an article and sharing it on the websites. Just to give you an example, I write on almost all the major search engine publications like Search Engine Strategy, Search Engine Watch, ClickZ, Search Engine Journal. None of these places where I write keeping in mind the links. So if I'm writing, and most of these websites get me direct referral traffic. We get good conversions from these websites. So if you are building guest blog posts, not keeping in mind the links, then they are good enough, and you are not putting your links inside. You might have a resource box where say this article has been written by person A who belongs to company B. It's not something which Google is going to frown upon. I mean, because most of the bigger publication, in fact news newspaper also have guest columnists. So they are not building links. As I said, the link is the residual. The SEO is the residual of whatever we do. If you think primarily for SEO, then it's not going to work. You have to think that they are the residual. Kapil.
Great. So another question in the related spaces, does directory submission still hold weightage? And if it does, then what are the top 5 directories one should list? Does paid directory listing work? This is a question asked by Jayashree.
Okay, Jayashree, the directory submission as such is dead. It was dead way back in 2010-11. In fact, most of the sites, free directory submissions are dead anyhow. Google has specifically said any link which is submitted to a free website where it seems they don't have an editorial control is a link which they're not going to count. Now, if you ask for a top 5 paid directories, there's Demos, which is not paid free. There is business.com. Then there is Yahoo, which Yahoo has closed their directory, but they have moved it to small business. They are not too many paid directories out there, but there are few which are like 4 or 5 directories. But again, don't think from them building from a link from a SEO point of view. A Yahoo small business directory helps people to find small businesses looking for a specific service. So those are the directories. But in a nutshell, directory submission is actually dead. Kapil.
Great. So another question is from Shifali. She wants to know, how do we get rid of bounce rate caused by spammy websites like samall.com, buttonshare.com, other than taking service from PageTraffic? I mean, that's something that I added, by the way.
You can't just control how anybody links to your website. Is not something you and me can control. So the bounce rate from these websites should not matter to us. However, you can put them in Google Analytics. You can filter them while checking out, while actually analyzing your bounce rate. So you can actually filter the websites where you don't want to count them. Kapil.
Okay. Another is Prajakta. She wants to know, is PPT or PDF helps to generate quality backlinks? Navneet, we are not able to hear you. So the question is PPT?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so the PPT and the PDF is going to help if it's of a high quality. So let's say if I'm just building a PDF or a PPT and putting it on SlideShare for link building, that's not going to help. However, if I'm building a PPT or a PDF for, let's say, of this session, which people would love to, or let's say if I write something about SEO 2015, that's going to help me build more, get more links.
Great. Another question from Shifali, is content curation same as article spinning? If not, how are they different? Is article spinning recommended? Which tool would you recommend for the same?
Okay. Article spinning is when you pick an article and spin it with a machine, so that's not recommended, that's actually dead. Content curation is when, let's say if you are typing about top 5 let's say SEO in 2015, I'm looking for results, I'm looking for people who have talked about different places, so I can pick services, or let's say if we did an article called 35 tools for content marketing. So what were these? These were just tools. We just took those tools and put it in a list and prepared a list. That's content curation. So you curate a content, you are not actually producing that content. So I wrote about a content about top 5 paid SEO tools. That's content curation. I took out, went out there in BuzzSumo, look which are the paid tools which people are searching for, and I created a content around it. Just a small paragraph, which again doesn't require too much of writing. And I did share some of the tools where you can go and search, and you can help it create a content. You can curate a content. And repeating again, article spinning is not something is recommended, and it doesn't give any value. Because the point is, where are you going to submit, and kind of a links which they are going to produce are going to be of no value. Kapil.
Great. Next question is from Nimit. Nimit wants to know, what could be done in case we are not able to produce the original content? Should we put feeds on other site of other blog sites, like feeds from Search Engine Watch and like?
See, first of all, if you have noted, when you take a feed from these websites, they come in a JavaScript which cannot be read. Second, that's again a short-term method, because what do you want people? If let's say I land on your website, I look at a feed, I'm going to click and go away on that website. So I don't see any value being added when you are looking at a content from other websites. The content, it's, of course, it's not the older school SEO where that was easy one. This is tough, and that's why it's become more interesting. It's more challenging. So no, even if you rank with the way the methods I'm talking about, it's going to be very, very hard for somebody to replace you. So you always have to keep in mind, content marketing, painful, yes, expensive, yes, but very, very high paying. So that has to be kept in mind. So content creation is not something you have a shortcut for. Kapil.
Okay, next question is from Jabal. He wants to know, what are the techniques, tools, approaches for segmenting your target market during planning your SEO efforts?
I shared some of them initially. You could segment them. Some of the tools which I have shared initially would give you idea about the segmenting your market. But again, it depends on your kind of a product. You have to put yourself in a customer's shoes. So if you are selling an industrial product, what kind of a product, what kind of a customers you are looking at, what kind of a customer's segmentation. A buyer personification is what we call. A personification has to be done not online, but it has to be something which has to be done brainstorming. And then you have to look from that from a Google AdWords, and there are various tools which initially I have shared some of those tools, so you can use some of those tools to personify.
It's 16 hours.
Yeah, Kapil.
Sure. So another question is from Anmol Ratan. He wants to know how to increase engagement on Facebook page. Even if there is a good content, people do not feel engaged. And also due to the FB policies, there is a lack of reach. How do you increase your content engagement? So it's not really related to SEO, but I'm sure if you can share your views.
Yeah, I can answer that.
Sure.
Yeah. So the Facebook, the only way to reach now, which Facebook new algorithm has, you have to have a sponsored content. You can't expect, of course, you need to put images, you need to share good images. For example, if you look at facebook.com/pagetraffic.in, we do on a Sunday, we share a lot of interesting images, which gets a look good engaging, good likes, good engagements, and we do share a lot of content, but most of these we have to run them sponsored, otherwise they don't even reach to our audience. And we have closer to I guess 53,000 fans on our Facebook page, and it's very hard to reach them with Facebook's policy where they don't want businesses to reach for free to their users. Kapil.
Great. So another question, interesting question from Shubhangi. She wants to know what is a time frame to be dedicated to understand the SEO success.
It depends what success means for you. For SEO, if you are looking, but if I would say to get rankings for SEO, you have to it would at least look at a longer time frame. It's no longer a 5-6 months game. You have to at least give 12 months to get good ranking results.
Okay. Guys, we are actually now it's 4:01. So what I'm doing is I'm assuming we've actually answered a lot of questions. In case there is any question that is very, very urgent, then you can just press the hand raise button and I'll unmute you and we can have an open conversation. Right, so just a minute. Right, there are actually 8 of 10 of people who have raised hands, so I'm just taking few right now. Anshul Agarwal, I'm unmuting you. Yeah, Anshul. Anshul, what's your question? Anshul, what's your question? Looks like there is some problem at Anshul end. Hanmant, I've unmuted you. Hanmant, what's your question? Hanmant, you can actually type down your question. I think he has typed it down already. For content marketing, what should be the content length?
Depends on what kind of, for example, a content marketing in different ways. It depends on kind of a format. So for infographic, there is going to be a different format. For Facebook post, of course, different format. For Twitter, we all know the characters limit. Depends. But if you are looking to produce a guest blog for an article just to share it on your blog, it should be at least 700 to 800 words. But if you are really up for it, I would recommend somewhere around 1500 plus words.
Okay. Mayank, I have unmuted you. Mayank, what's your question? Okay. Saurabh, I have unmuted you.
Hello.
Yeah, Saurabh.
Hello. Navneet sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, what you recommend the URL structure for the SEO point of view, just like www.example.com/services/money product page or domain name /moneypage.html. What you recommend? Because I have seen lots of websites are directly linking the money page with their domain, not survey folders in their URL structure. So what you recommend, with folder structure or without folder structure?
Recent time we have seen that without folder structure is something which Google is also favoring, and for most of our clients which comes with a longer folder or a longer length of URLs, a shorter URL length is actually favored by Google. So I would recommend the second one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Tushar, I have unmuted you. Tushar? Okay, Usha, I have unmuted you. Usha, are you there? Okay, Vaibhav, I have unmuted you. Great. So guys, looks like your microphone is not working. I'll just take up some of the questions which have recently been typed, and we'll take last couple of questions now. One is a question from Manoj. He's asking LSI keywords are effective or not. He wants to know.
Yeah, LSI means latent semantic indexing, which basically means in a non-technical language, it means when you are building a content for a specific keyword, you are looking for a phrases which are related to that as well, which in a newer sense is something which is hummingbird. So you don't look from an LSI where you actually throw in, if you are building content for mobile phone, you throw in related keywords like mobile phone or CDMA phone or a GSM phone. So that's not very effective now. What is more effective is you build a content around one or a two keyword, a page, and then have a content which have answers. So it's kind of the page should have FAQ, the page should have paragraphs, subheadings. That's something which is gonna be there for you as well. So that something is important, not keeping LSI in mind. Shouldn't that actually been dead for almost couple of years now? Kapil.
Right. Okay, another interesting question from Tushar. He's actually, he said that I created the content, the evergreen content. I posted it on my website. Before getting my site crawled by Google, someone copied my content and posted on his website. What can I do?
It's very hard to have this. There is a Google scrapper tool. You can complain there about that. And also important, when you put this content on your website, at the bottom of the page, you could have the URL or some of the links going to your own website. That also helps. But more or less, it's important to have Google. In fact, Matt Cutts also has a couple of videos explaining how you can tackle this problem. But this at times becomes a very serious and very annoying problem.
So another question from Usha. Do you recommend any good infographic tools to create best infographics?
I have, yes. There are a couple of good tools. In fact, if you, I won't. There are a couple of tools. One of the article I wrote on Clickzy, there are visually, and there are a couple of good free infographic tools also. In fact, there are 5 good infographic tools. If you just type content marketing tools and with my name, content marketing tools, Navneet Kaushal, you'll see an infographic which will have all the tools you require. Yeah, Kapil.
So let's take this last question. This question is from Mayank. He wants to know what kind of a content should I produce for a blog of an educational game website. I'm running out of content for blog.
As I talked about, the best way is to go and search on BuzzSumo. That's the way where it's going to talk about share. You can look at the content, the kind of content. Just put in your keyword. You'll get, I'm sure, lots of ideas there.
Okay, great. So let's take one more question before we close it. Prajakta, she has asked the question. I have submitted sitemap 1 month ago, 27 URL indexed out of 52. But still Google not showing respective link in SERP.
I'm just assuming that what she meant is that out of 52, 27 has already been rolled and not the rest.
And she wants to know
even the question, then I would say
no, the question is that even though the 27 URLs are now indexed, but still Google not show receptive title in SERP. I think it's regarding those 27 URLs.
Okay, so basically 27 URLs are indexed and they are not showing Google search. Is that what means? Or the title of those pages are not showing?
Can you please confirm?
A little confused.
Sure, just a minute. She's saying yes, exactly. So I think is the title not showing or the pages are not in the SERP? Prajakta, can you please confirm? She's saying title not showing.
See, the main reason for title not showing would be that it depends how you are doing the search. If you are just searching it for site : your website.com and you have put the title tag properly, then it will definitely show. However, if you are looking for a specific keyword and searching and you are feeling that Google is not showing the title for that URL is listed and the title is not, then Google has said that they do at times dynamically create or show their own title based on the user search query. So these are two different cases which it can be. So in this case, if you are Google is showing on its own, you really can't do anything except to match that in your title, the keyword which people are searching. And the second, if the first one is the case where your title is not showing, then it seems to be some kind of a backend issue on your website. So you have to see if the title tag is closed or properly done. Kapil.
Great, I think so. We've possibly responded to most of the questions. And
Okay.
at this point of time, really want to thank you, Navneet, for taking time out. And thank you everybody for your time as well. I hope you have found value in this session. And as I've mentioned also, the recording of this session along with the presentation, we'll send you an email on that in next couple of days. And we'll also do a blog post. So if you have any further question, you can just mention it there as a comment. And then in any case, if you're looking for an SEO service, the Navneet's contact details is there on the screen, so you can contact him anytime. And so that's it from our side. Thank you, Navneet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.